Hello, welcome to Microfiche Microphone. I'm Micah, and on this channel we look at microfiche from the past, so old newspaper articles in the public domain, and we look at them with our modern eyes and see what we can learn from them. On today's Microfiche Time Capsule, we are looking at an article from the London Magazine from November 1768, and this article is entitled An Old Prophecy Respecting America. I found that quite interesting. The question in my mind is, then, is this a prophecy that has already been fulfilled? Or is this prophecy which will eventually be fulfilled, like we are still expecting it to happen? Or is this just some weird person making a weird prediction? You never know. Alright, so just a few very quick notes. First of all, the editor of this newspaper was called Severus Urban, so people wrote their articles addressed to him. I'm pretty sure that wasn't his real name. Also, there is a letter S that looks like an F in the text. Also, this particular article is faded in a few places. I think I can figure out what it says. As I look at it, I think my mind can kind of put it together. But if you disagree with my interpretation, please let me know in the comments below. I can't quite tell exactly what it says. So, let's take a look. Mr. Urban, the following curious prophecy was found amongst the manuscripts of that learned physician of the last century, Sir Thomas Browne, Knight, author of Religio Medici, and was thought worthy of a place in Sir Thomas's Miscellany Tracts, published after his death in the year 1684 by his intimate friend Dr. Tennyson, afterward Archbishop of Canterbury, of whose tracts the doctor gives his opinion in his preface to the reader in these words: "They commend themselves by their learning, curiosity, and brevity, and if the reader be not pleased with them, he seemeth to me to be distempered with such a niceness of imagination as no wise man is concerned to humor." Well, that's a little intimidation, isn't it? Like, if you don't believe these prophecies, then you're just stupid, is basically what he said. So I am slightly curious as to the author, Sir Thomas Browne, Knight. So let's see if we can find something on him. Sir Thomas Browne. Okay, there's one with an E at the end. Is that the same guy? 1605 to 1682. Yeah, it could be. Was an English polymath and author of various works which reveal his wide learning in diverse fields, including science and medicine, religion, and the esoteric. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, his writings display a deep curiosity towards the natural world, influenced by the scientific revolution of Baconian inquiry, and permeated by references to classical and biblical sources, as well as idiosyncrasies of his own personality. Although often described as suffused with melancholia, Browne's writings are also characterized by wit and subtle humor, while his literary style is varied according to genre, resulting in a rich, unique prose which ranges from rough notebook observations to polished Baroque eloquence. Interesting. Autobiography, publications, let's take a look. Yeah, Religio Medici. Yeah, 1643. So what is that? Setting that this is published there, okay. Is a spiritual testament and early psychological self-portrait. Published in 1643, after an unauthorized version was distributed the previous year, it became a European bestseller, which brought its author fame at home and abroad. Okay. Structured upon the Christian virtues of faith and hope and charity, Browne expresses his belief in the doctrine of sola fide, the existence of hell, the Last Judgment, the resurrection, and other tenets of Christianity. Throughout Religio Medici, Browne uses scientific imagery to illustrate religious truths as part of his discussion on the relationship of science to religion, a topic which has lost none of its contemporary relevance. Okay, so that's a little interesting. That doesn't mean that his prophecies are true. Doesn't make him a prophet. I'm just saying. Anyway, so that's interesting. So Sir Thomas Browne was, in fact, a philosopher. I mean, it sounds more like he's in the direction of philosophy. And he enjoyed combining science with religion. And his work is that Religio Medici is very much steeped in that. So that's a little bit of background on him. So Sir Thomas Browne had received a letter from a friend containing an old and obscure prophecy with a request that he should consider it. In answer to which, Sir Thomas sends his friend the following letter and the prophecy annexed. So someone had sent this to him with an old and obscure prophecy. So here's an old prophecy. Would you please consider it? So this is his response. Okay. Sir, I take no pleasure in prophecies so hardly intelligible, and pointing at future things from a pretended spirit of divination. Oh, he did not believe in this at all. Okay. Of which sort this seems to be, which came into your hand, and you were pleased to send unto me. And therefore, for your easier apprehension, divertisement, and consideration, I present you with a very different kind of prediction, not positively or peremptorily telling you what shall come to pass, yet pointing at things not without all reason and probability of their events, not built upon fatal decrees or inevitable designations, but upon conjectural foundations whereby things wished for may be promoted, and such as are feared may more probably be prevented. Interesting. So he's not saying that he's a prophet. He's saying that if he were to write some prophecies, this is what they would look like, and he's basing his prophecies on knowledge of human nature and an idea of things that might happen in the future, and not necessarily claiming that these are like sent from God or anything. So he's not saying that. He's saying that these are just ideas that he had himself. So let's see what he had to say. I'm interested. The prophecy. When New England shall trouble New Spain. I have no idea why they all start with when. It makes it sound like it's like a partial sentence, and we're like waiting for the punchline. There's no punchline. Apparently it's just when. So, when New England shall trouble New Spain. Okay, New England is in America, United States, American colonies at the time. New Spain, is that not also in the North American continent? Let's take a look. Oh, Wikipedia, you are my friend. New Spain. Yeah, it's basically Mexico and Central America. Yeah. New Spain, officially the Viceroyalty of New Spain or Kingdom of New Spain, was an integral territory entity of the Spanish Empire, established by Habsburg Spain during the Spanish colonization of the Americas. Yeah, so Central America up into North America, which was originally Mexico. New England shall trouble New Spain. Well, the thing is, they didn't really go to war. I mean, there was a Mexican war, which was very brief. It was mostly in, like, the Texas area. However, like, most of that area that belonged to New Spain was actually purchased. So, like, Louisiana Purchase, yeah, I don't really feel like that was troubling them. Unless they were talking about the people who already lived there. Maybe. In that case, I would say, yeah, they did trouble them. So, but at the time it was written, 1684, like, there's no way that could have been predicted. All of the colonists at the time were on the coast. They hadn't really ventured into that area. So maybe it was just something he was like, well, maybe this could happen in the future. So, number 2, when Jamaica shall be Lady of the Isles of the Main. I don't know what that means. So, Jamaica obviously is an island in the Caribbean. So, Jamaica shall be Lady of the Isles of the Main. Open to interpretation. I have no idea what they mean by that. Moving on. I don't know what to do with that because I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. When Spain shall be in America hid. Spain is hidden inside America? No, that never happened. So, I don't really expect it to ever happen. Number 4, and Mexico shall prove a Madrid. I don't know what that means either. Madrid is a city in Spain, and Mexico is a country in North America. So what does one have to do with the other? I don't know. Number 5, when Mohammed's ships on the Baltic shall ride. Now, okay, Mohammed's ships, I'm assuming they mean like in Islamic countries' ships are in the Baltic. I've never heard of that. They had no reason to be up there because that's not really a trade route. I mean, I guess maybe there are some, but usually when they say things like this, they mean as like an invasion kind of a force. Yeah, that's never happened, and I don't really anticipate that one either. And Turks shall labor to have ports on that side. Now, see, why would the Turks want a port in the Baltic Sea? Once again, not really their area of expertise. If they mean like the Black Sea, sure, but the Baltic Sea? No, I don't think so. Number 6, when Africa shall no more when Africa shall no more sell out their blacks to make slaves and drudges to the American tracks. This one did come true. Thank you for no longer selling slaves. And thank you with the other side for no longer buying them. So that one did end, slave trade. Thank you. Very, very happy about that. But in 1684, it had not yet ended. And it wouldn't for another 200 years, or almost 200 years. So, that was definitely looking to the future. He saw that the slave trade must end eventually. So number 7, when Batavia the old shall be contemned by the new. Batavia, the Dutch East Indies, is also called Batavia, and in the city's Malay vernacular was the capital of the Dutch East Indies. Oh, it's a city? Present-day Jakarta? Okay, let's take a look again. When Batavia the old shall be contemned, I'm assuming condemned, by the new. Is there a new Batavia? I don't know what this one means either. Number 8, when a new drove of Tartars shall China subdue. Also hasn't happened. Not to my knowledge. China's big. You can't really go in and conquer China. It's really big, and there are lots of people. Number 9, when America shall cease to send out its treasure, but employ it at home in American pleasure. Yeah, when the American colonists would stop exporting their natural resources and use them at home. That has definitely happened. Number 10, when the new world shall the old world invade, nor count them their lords, but their fellows in trade. Okay, the new world is clearly the American colonies. The old world is then England. Now, they did not invade England. They declared their independence from it. So, partially true, but they do not count them as their lords, but their fellows in trade. That is true. Number 11, when men shall almost pass to Venice by land, not in deep water, but from sand to sand. Wow, so he really thought that Venice would dry up one day? Yeah, that is like the opposite of what has happened. The water is so deep there that they're in danger of completely flooding the area. Number 11, and when Nova Zembla shall be no stay to those who would pass to or from Cathay, then think strange things are come to light, whereof but few have had foresight. T. Brown. Okay, Nova Zembla. Apparently there's a film called Nova Zembla. Nova Zembla is an island in Canada. Novaya Zemlya is a Russian archipelago in the Arctic Ocean. There's a 2011 Dutch film on it. I sincerely doubt that's it. And a record label from a Belgian electronic music label. Yeah. So, take your pick. The island in Canada or the archipelago in the Arctic Ocean? Either way, it's very far north. I'm not catching the thread of this one. Okay, when Nova Zembla shall be no stay to those who would pass to or from Cathay. Cathay, huh? China is a historical name for China that was used in Europe. Okay. Okay, yeah, so it sounds more like Siberia to me. Unless they're talking about the Northern Passage. They think that the Northern Passage is no longer a... Because they were searching for one for a long time until they discovered that there isn't one. So I don't know which direction that necessarily went. Are we talking about, like, is there an island in Canada that was in the way? Or are they talking about trying to find a northern passage through Siberia that would then go to China? But it sounds like a northern passage kind of a reference. Then strange things are come to light whereof but few have had foresight. So I guess I could see that as like predicting like airplanes. You know, I mean, airplanes will get you to China without having to stop in Canada or Siberia. You can just fly right over it. Or you can even avoid them entirely and fly a different route. So I guess it all depends on what is meant by that. I think that last couple of lines kind of sums it all up. Then think strange things are come to light, whereof but few have had foresight. There are a lot of strange things in this world, and there are a lot of times when we think we know what's going on and can look to the future, but then something else happens, throws us a curveball. So you can't always predict everything. So I don't really have any major commentary on here. Some of them have happened, some of them have not, and some I do not anticipate happening. Other ones I'm just not quite sure what they're talking about. So if you have any more insights for me for the ones that I didn't understand, please leave them in the comments below. I'd be interested in what you think it might mean. And thank you for joining us on Microfiche Microphone. Once again, I'm Micah, and be sure to like and subscribe the video, and I'll see you in the next video.